reach a monk enlightenment where they fucking turn into a rainbow and shit.
But I don't think I'm doing that in my life, but yeah.
But if I can reach as close as I can get, to what I think is perfect, then I'll have reached my goal.
I tried to talk about that concept to some of my coworkers,
mm-hmm.
and they were like, what is... They were basically like, would that even feel good? Would you enjoy it? Like, it's more than that, though, right?
It is.
It's more than that. It's beyond feeling.
And it's
beyond consciousness.
Possibly.
You're just joining some sort of, universal,
becoming yourself again, I believe. I think
energy.
You hopefully get to remember your past lives. You indulge in everything that you've indulged, just like people say your life flashes before your eyes. What if it's like that, but more extreme? Your lives flash before your eyes, and you experience everything that you've experienced, and you're like one with the Force. It's like Star Wars, Yoda and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, they all had to reach a certain kind of training and go beyond the basic kind of Jedi training to get their personality to stick with them beyond death. Otherwise, you just return to the Force. But Yoda and them, they were actually able to come back as themselves after death because they reach a certain kind of enlightenment, basically, and they let go of their egos and all that shit, so...
It's very metaphysical.
That's why it's bullshit that Anakin was a ghost at the end. But anyways. You didn't go through that training, goddammit.
I don't understand it, but I know he's frustrated.
Should we smoke this now? How much is it for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Like price?
Yeah.
Like $7.
Okay, I'll buy another one when my grandpapa gets to town. I just wanted to smoke him out.
Your pop-pop?
One of these. Yeah, bro. I seriously haven't seen him since I was 19, and I'm fucking 30.
Is he on your dad's side, or?
Yeah, he's the Danish dude. I'm excited to see him. He's going to give me a bunch of his Vietnam shit and stuff, and hopefully I'll find out more about that stuff, because I remember seeing pictures as a kid of him and his squad, but he never talked about Vietnam or anything like that, or being in the military.
Are you going to show him the podcast?
No. He's pretty old school, dude. He's chill as fuck, but he's so deaf and shit, I don't think he'll be able to hear it or understand what's going on. And he's pretty young, but deaf. He's 72, but he worked in a factory for a good 30 plus years and fucking is deaf as fuck now.
He likes the weed, though?
Yeah, been smoking at least 47 years.
You could show him the stash box, though, right?
I suppose.
If you wanted.
Yeah. I mean... No, I might. Who knows? Be like, hey, Grandpa, I'm not really famous. This is going nowhere, but this is me. Because, I love our podcast, bro, but we're still no Mr. Ballin or Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, Joe Rogan. Yeah. Seth Rogen's not a podcaster or famous.
He's kind of fallen off,
yes.
I guess.
That's okay, though. Pineapple Express was a long time ago.
He's like what the white Republicans think of a weed smoker.
Possibly. It's what we think of as a millennial, though.
I still love it, too, man. There's something about just talking into the ether.
Yeah, I'll say I don't give a shit if you guys listen or not.
I don't either.
Because I think it's still getting picked up. I could not believe how wonderful that Ancient Apocalypse show was, because I think Graham Hancock, bro, is almost like he's talking about same shit we're talking about, but he's actually going and fucking getting to see this shit in person, like the megaliths and shit.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, he did it just right to get onto Netflix, because they're particular with that shit, but he tiptoed around shit just right, but he's also, I think, going to open a lot of minds.
Have you ever read any of his books?
No, actually I haven't. I just watched his,
I have his most recent one, if you ever want to check it out.
You said that.
It's got a lot of very nice pictures. If you don't want to read anything, there's still a lot of cool pictures.
I like reading a lot, so I'll give it a gander. Yeah, man, whenever. I'll let you borrow.
But he explains that there's micro diamonds made by cataclysmic impacts that prove that there was some sort of impact 13,000 years ago.
I think so too.
Related to the flood.
Because, yeah, he talks about that a lot, too. And it's also to do with the soil. I've heard about this before, but that black line that you eventually reach once you go a certain, depth into the soil, they say that line is from, when the whole earth was covered in ash, basically, about 13,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we did get hit by something as well, which goes along with the whole spirit science thing, bro. Think about it, when Atlantis got hit by the shit from the sky, when the Martians were making the Merkaba and all that shit, they said they got hit. And the other crazy thing is, on this Ancient Apocalypse show, they show that only 8 to 10,000 years ago, there was actually a landmass right off of Florida's coast, where the Bermuda Triangle is. And also, in that area, the Bimini Road, I don't know if you've heard about that. There's the Bimini Islands right off of Florida, and there's a road that basically connects Florida to the Bimini Islands underwater. And I think that's a thing, bro. I think Atlantis was possibly there, and that was a connection. Like, they did have like a big land bridge or something to America, that area at least. And Bimini Islands are just remnants possibly of Atlantis and stuff. And just like spirit science says, it's exactly kind of where they said it was, and where the comets and stuff hit Atlantis is kind of where.
And Hawaii is connected to it too.
To Lemuria?
No,
Oh,
not that. But like sunken islands,
yeah,
like Hawaii.
is part of the Lemurian island or continent.
There was more than just what's on surface
Dude,
now.
same with Fiji Islands and all that.
The Polynesians.
Yeah, look at it. If I felt like I've shown you a map, and I've even put a map of it on my podcast about Mu and Lemuria.
It's that whole like Ring of Fire area.
Yes, exactly.
There used to be more landmass.
There's one huge landmass there. And like I said, that's what Colonel Churchward, or whatever his name was back in the 1800s even, he wrote that whole book, and he drew out a map exactly connecting all the islands. Easter Island and all that shit were all one landmass. And then the Ring of Fire happened, and it sunk it, because they had a whole, basically, tunnel system that made their island kind of floating. And once that tunnel system filled up with lava instead of water, it sunk it down. And now you just have tropical islands that have the remnants of, like, the volcanoes and shit. And that's how you have the Fiji Islands, where they were cannibals. And I know I've talked about that too, because they started over. They had nothing on those islands after that landmass sunk, so they started eating each other and shit.
They'd forgotten their knowledge.
Yep. Savagery comes from civilization. Civilization does not come from savagery.
Did you make that up? Who said that?
Colonel Churchward. That was one
It
of
makes
his
sense.
first lines in his book, Lost Continent of Mu. I've been kind of rereading it again. It's very interesting. He makes so many solid points of how Lemuria is connected to all the shit the Mayans were doing and ancient civilizations in Mexico that no one's ever talking about.
And there's all those other tribes that like either popped out of nowhere, allegedly, or like they disappeared allegedly.
Anasazi and all them, and
Like the Dogon.
Aztecs. Oh.
Dogon just appeared.
Oh, appeared. I thought you meant the civilization
I mean
that
both.
disappeared.
I
Oh,
mean
for
both.
sure.
Yeah. The Olmecs, they disappeared,
Yeah, I've always wanted to know more about them.
and they looked very like African.
Yeah, round heads and shit.
They didn't. Yeah.
Unlike the other kind of heads we have. No, they just had oddly, like, they did not look South American.
No,
though.
they didn't.
I thought almost Asian, but.
Oval eyes.
Oh, yeah, there's even that one statue. It's kind of all fucked up because of a big gun battle or whatever in South America that was older than all of those, and it depicted like a white person's face in a time that there definitely shouldn't have been white people down there.
Jesus?
No, it was way before Jesus. It was pre-flood. It was very, very ancient. Oh, a piece of stone.
Piece of God.
We're all pieces of God. Fuck, bro, this is a slow burn.
It is, man.
It's gonna fuck me up. Yeah, I actually might look at my phone because I think there's more shit. Like I said, I really want to talk a lot about the pre-flood civilization shit. There's just so much to it. Oh, damn, we're on 40 minutes already.
Yeah, there was some other stuff I had too.
Right on.
I'm just pulling it up on Reddit.
Almost should have just done a fucking